This is Lawrence with Goodnight Games, and I'm here to show you how to use Windows GameSalad. Now, if we check it out, I have a new project open, so I just double-clicked on my icon, and you can see the lay of the land. So, first things first, we've got the black screen, so this is your game project screen. The default is iPhone 5, so that's this size right here, and you can change it, just File New, and you can open a new project right there, and you see I can change my platform whenever I want. But iPhone 5 is good because it can scale up to iPhone 6 and 6 Plus relatively easily, so it's a good thing to use. So now, what we're going to talk about first is coding. Now, you've picked this because coding, you want to get started on it immediately, and you don't want to have to learn a language to do it. Now, the thing that you do need to know is computers are stupid till you tell them what to do. So if you don't tell the computer to do something, it doesn't know how to do it. Now, the way GameSalad works is we use actors and rules to do things. Now, what does that mean? Well, what we're going to do is make a simple don't touch the walls game. Now if you watch, you see I'm going to go ahead, make a new actor, right there, and you see I have actor 1, double click, and I'll rename it player. Always make sure to name your actors, because these projects can get very complicated and you want to know where they are. Now, I'll drag it in as a default, and you notice it's kind of big for the screen if that's going to be our player. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'll just click on it, and you notice if I delete it from the screen, it stays over there until you delete it from this side. So these are what's known as prototypes on there, and when you bring them onto the stage, you can make them instances, which makes them unique. So what we want to do is always be working in the prototype. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll click on it here, then go to my Actor tab in Attributes, and then you'll see I have size. Now everything in this is in pixels, so it's 120 by 120, and that's too big. So what I'll do is I'll make it, let's say 50 by 50. Now once that's done, you see I just drop them in, and yeah, that's a pretty good size. That works pretty well. So we'll leave him there, and we'll go ahead and click back on this. You'll see that I'm in the prototype because there'll be no gray area. See, I click there and there's gray. So I click on the player, and then let's start coding. We want him to move. Now, you see right next to the play button, I have toggle backstage. Now if I click that, you'll see this pops up. This is the backstage. So we're inside player prototype, which is what we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create some rules in player prototype. Now what is a rule? Simple. It's literally a statement that says, if this, do that. So if this happens, do this. Does it make sense? So what I'm going to do is, I'll go over here, and you'll see plus rule, plus group, and plus timer. Now we want to make a rule. So we've made a rule, and you'll see when all of the following are happening, we set a condition, and then it does something. Right there. Now we need a condition. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go over to this tab right here, Behaviors, click on it, and you'll see we have conditions. They're yellow. And we want to do key press. So we have key, and then I'll drag that in here. And you'll see it receives a key press, and it needs a key, obviously. So I'll do W for up, right there. And then in the do field, I'll say we need to move it. So I'll find move. So here I put behaviors. So there's my behavior folder. They're green and red like Christmas. So I'll go find move and drag it in to the do, and this is what it looks like. Now, again, what does this do? Well, if I hit play, I hit W, You see? My box moves, and it shoots off screen, because did we tell it what to do? In other words, did we tell it to not go off screen? We didn't. So I'll go back to the editor, and what we're going to do is we're going to configure the move. Now for W, it's going to go up. So I'll make it move in the direction of 90. You can also turn this little dot in here. And for the sake of it, we can't not name our rules, so I'll go in, double click, and then go up. Then once we're done, we just collapse that, you see the little arrow, and it's gone. Now, to make things easier, instead of clicking and dragging and moving all over the place, you can type this stuff in. It's only on the Windows GameSalad, but if I go in here, click and go type rule, hit enter, you see rule pops up. Then I can click here and I can say key, which is what we did, and that'll pop up again. So let's do down, I'll hit D, and under do, I'll type move, and that'll pop up too. And then 270 is down. So, and we'll title it again, go down. And now we'll do it for the other two directions. So again, typing in rule, typing in key, and then this one I'll do left, so that's A, move, and that's 180. And you see I can use the dot if I want to, but this is more precise. You can also change the movement speed, because you can see right here, speed of 300. And rule, key, go right, so that would be D. Because we're using standard WASD, WSAD. So type in move again, and it's pretty much default set. This might be a little fast, but it's okay. You can change the speed to whatever you want. So go right, and everything is collapsed, everything is neat. So, if I play it, you'll see that I can just zoom around, like so. So, we have movement. Look at that. It appears my down doesn't work so hot. Whoop, oh, because I put it at D. So go ahead, change that to S. If yours doesn't work right, it's because we just put D as both. So I'll just change my down to S. So change the down to S. If you have two of the same keys, they'll conflict and they won't work. So there we go. Now we can go down nicely. Alright, cool. So games always have to have a way to lose and a way to win. And while we're doing this, make sure you just file and then save as you're going. Make sure you save very often. Now, what we're going to do first is let's make a way to lose. So we need something for the player to run into. So how about we make another actor. So I'll hit the plus. So I'm in my actors tab. I'll hit the plus right here, and I'll call this lava. So I double click to rename it, and then I can go down here to my actor tab. I'll change its color. I'll make it a very not inviting red. So the cool thing about this is I can keep dragging prototypes in. So I can put this here, and you see how it's got these squares around it? Well, I can grab these squares and I can scale it, and if I get the middle, I can rotate it. Let's get rid of that, redrag it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make kind of a perimeter fence around here, like so. Just super rough, doesn't matter at the moment. Like so, just by grabbing these squares and pulling. Now, what we have to do next is essentially tell the player to die when it comes in contact with this. So what we're going to do is, I'll click back on player in the actors tab, and we're in here, and we're already getting kind of a lot of rules right now. So we should organize. So what we'll do is, I'm in player, see player prototype. I'll click on group, and what that does is I can take all these, so I'm just going to drag them, swoop, right in, and when you group them, they will all be in one thing that you can collapse, you see? Now it's all collapsed in neat. Now I can title that group. I usually leave the group when I do this, so group player controls. So there you go. It's a little more neat, keeps everything off screen. Now we have to kill it. Now what happens when it dies? It has to run into the red, which is called collision. So now again, I'll make a rule, and I'll go to my conditions. It looks like the Tetris piece, and they're yellow. Now we have right here collision, and they always give a description of what exactly entails in this. So all I have to do is just drag that on there, and it'll say, okay, when it overlaps and collides, actor being the actor that it's in right now, so overlaps and collides with lava, we're going to go ahead and get the behavior destroy. So we're just going to destroy right there. Just make sure it's in the do. And we can call this death. Now watch what happens when we hit play. I'm going around, and I hit it. Boop! Dead. You see? Because we've told it to do that. And let's go ahead, raise this up. It's a little more threatening. There we go. So, boop, dead. So yours should disappear too.